The question is your vehicle insured off-road?
Good question. Potentially not.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, actually.
Ooh. No.
I'll have to check.
Playing with fire, maybe.
Nope. Not specific, no.
No, it's not.
I wish it was, but it's not.
Probably not.
Yes.
Semi.
As long as the road still got a name, you're insured. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Is your vehicle insured
Yes.
off-road? Even if you know that you are insured off-road, what are you actually covered for? And this is the elephant in the room that a lot of us fail to address. We just get our insurance and we think real good and we spend all our money on mods and we go out and travel. When in actual fact, most of you out there are not covered for what you think you're covered for. And that's the scary part. I've done a lot of research. This isn't a half-baked sort of video I'm doing here. I've rung all the big names. The PDS is not enough. So I rang them and they all said refer back to the PDS. And I said, well, hang on a minute, because if I do that, it's as clear as mud. You are not going to believe what I found out. It's a can of worms. Let's start with the basic here. A gazetted road. That is a public listed road on a map. But most of them said, as long as I'm legally allowed to be there. Now, I'm legally allowed to be where I am right now, but this is not a gazetted road. So in some cases, and some insurance companies, they will not cover me if I was with them right here, right now, even though I'm allowed to be here. Get to that a bit later on, and it's more to do with your remote tracks. Now, the other thing, if that track is not listed on a map, some insurance companies won't have a bar of it. Okay, that's a simple one to find out. Non-gazetted, are you covered or are you not covered? Beaches. Most of them said, not all of them actually, most of them said you are covered on the beach. But if your vehicle gets taken by the tide, some of them will say,
that is not covered, because you have pushed the vehicle beyond manufacturer's specifications.
But what if you accidentally parked it and then you got bogged and then the tide came in and took your car? It's not like you intentionally put it below the tide line by knowing that. Still, they will not cover it, some of them. Some beaches in Western Australia at least, you have to go around a rocky headland to get to the other side, and you got to time it with the waves. Most insurance companies will not cover you for that. So if you are found on the wrong side of the rocks and you get smashed by a wave and your car gets totaled, whatever, your vehicle is not covered. On the other hand, however, should you go over a sand dune too fast, then you're covered by most of them. What about river crossings? We all like a good river crossing. Some of them will cover you, some of them will not.
You have driven deeper than manufacturer's specifications, and therefore you f***ed up.
You can't go through a water crossing with water higher than whatever height that is for your vehicle. That's stated by the manufacturer. That said, however, some of them will also include the manufacturer of the snorkel. So if you put a snorkel on your vehicle, you've now increased what you can go through as on a river crossing. But you've got to be careful because some stick with the vehicle, others stick with the accessories you put on. They will allow that. Get this one, 4-wheel drive training is not covered by some of the insurance companies under their 4-wheel drive clause. Here's the thing, you're out there getting training in 4-wheel driving so you can improve your skills. Now, some insurance companies, some of the better ones, in my opinion, will reward you for doing 4-wheel drive training. That will actually lower your insurance costs because you've had 4-wheel drive training.
Jolly good. Thanks for increasing your off-road skills. You will now be rewarded with a discount. By the way, is this the new 70 Series LC?
But some won't even cover 4-wheel drive training. So if something should happen during 4-wheel drive training, you're not covered. How ridiculous is that? 4-wheel drive parks, that's another one you need to be aware of. If you go to one of those 4-wheel drive parks like Land Cruiser Park, I guess there is, Land Cruiser Park, there's Loveday Park, there's a few around. Some insurance companies will not cover you on a 4-wheel drive park. Let's talk insurance and accessories. Now, many insurance companies are very different. Some will not add the value of your accessories on top of your vehicle. Take this vehicle here, for instance, the FJ Cruiser. This will be valued at, let's just say 40 grand, just for argument's sake. And we've probably got about 40 grand's worth of accessories on it. So that's about 80 grand in total. So that's an agreed value situation you got yourself here, because most insurance companies, yes, you can list all your accessories if you get front-end damage on your vehicle.
Looks like we might cover your front accessories.
But if you write the vehicle off, you're not going to get your money back on your accessories. And once it's in the panel beaters, you cannot access your vehicle, you cannot remove things from your vehicle, because once it's in that situation, it's the insurance company's property, not yours anymore.
I am the captain now.
One particular insurance company I've been with before, allow up to $14,000 on top of the value of your vehicle for accessories. So it means that if you totally write your car off, the most you're going to get back from your accessories is $14,000 from a particular insurance company. Others will not increase the value in your car. There are a few in particular that will. There's 2 that I know of.
We will give you an agreed value on your vehicle, but it will cost you.
Biggest can of worms of them all. Remote travel. Why remote travel? Why is that so bad? Some of the insurance companies wouldn't cover if you're on the CSR, the canning stock route, to a point that is. So when it comes to remote travel, it's not about whether they cover the damage of your vehicle or not, it's whether you can recover your vehicle so they can assess the damage and then cover your vehicle. Stick with me here. Let's play out a scenario. You hit up the canning stock route, a very famous Australian track that is a bucket list for many, a remote track. It's from A to B, it's gazetted, it's full drive only. Your vehicle breaks down, or you smash into a camel, or you smash into another vehicle somehow. Your vehicle's out there, it's damaged, you can't get it out. So what do? You ring the insurance company. The insurance company will say, depending on who you call,
hang on a minute, we can't get a tow truck to you. You must get that car to a road that we can get the tow truck to, and then we'll pick up the car, take it to a repairer and then get an assessed, and then we can fulfill your claim.
You have to get the vehicle to that point where they can tow it with a tilt tray, where they can access it via 2-wheel drive. How are you going to do that in some situations? Say you completely stuff the front of your car up, it's untowable, it's undrivable. What do? You have to ring someone with a 4-wheel drive recovery vehicle, a big truck of some sort, that can come out and get it. Now, if you do that in the Simpson Desert, that costs about $360 to $400 an hour. Let's say you're 12 hours in. That's 12 hours in, then it's the recovery, number of hours, then it's on the way back out, that's another 12 hours. You're looking at least 24 hours, 25, 26 maybe, at $400 an hour. Whatever that adds up to on the screen, that's a lot of money, and that's coming out of your pocket. The insurance company will not cover that because most insurance companies, apart from one out there, will not give you roadside assistance for more than, a lot of them are 50 kilometers, and others are 200 kilometers, up to 200 kilometers. 2-wheel drive. If you can't get your car out of there, you can't afford to get someone to get it and bring it out, the vehicle's not insured because they need to assess it at their workshop. That's another thing they stated. I said, what if my car gets stuck out there and I can't get it out, but I can show you the damage?
No, it has to be assessed in a workshop before we will consider covering the damage.
And I said, well, okay, if I can't get the vehicle out and I can't afford for someone to get the vehicle out, what happens to the vehicle? Will you insure it as a write-off? And they said, no, because it's not a write-off, you got to get it out. So that tells me, and I've got to be careful with how I say this, but basically, if your vehicle burnt down, it's completely gone, it'll be covered. It's a statutory write-off. Your vehicle got burnt down. But if you damage your vehicle to a point where you can't tow it out, you can't afford to get someone to tow it out, then you're screwed. They will not cover it because they need to assess it. You're better off having your vehicle burnt to the ground to get it covered than to not have it burnt to the ground, if you get what I'm saying. So imagine that. Your vehicle's broken down and you are, I don't know, a third into the canning stock route. You are hundreds of Ks away from anything. How are you going to get that car out? You can't. You just can't get it out without getting any help. You're kind of screwed, aren't you? What are you going to do? This also means that if you get stuck on the beach and you damage your car, you still got to get it out. So anywhere where a 2-wheel drive cannot get to get the vehicle out. And the further away you are, the more it's going to cost you. Now, there's only one insurance company out there that does offer this. It's a service for 4-wheel drive recovery, a $15,000 one up to a $30,000 one. Now, I'm not going to mention a name because 1, this is not a sponsored video. 2, I'm not allowed to legally advise anyone for insurance. So read between the lines, I'm sure you can work it out yourself. So this also means if you get bogged out there and you can't get yourself out, you are so bogged in a salt lake or something like that, and you travel on your own, you are pretty much screwed. You better hope that winch pays for itself. No one's gonna come and help you unless you pay money, or you got some really good friends that are gonna come all the way out there and help you out. Hopefully you've got those. Hopefully you travel in a convoy, because otherwise you are kind of screwed. If you are going to such remote places, please be prepared. Get some experience before you go proper remote. I would like to hear from you guys. Have you had a situation where you've been surprisingly covered or you haven't been covered? I would really like to hear about that. And if there's any other dicey topic you'd like me to talk about, go for it, because I think I've covered everything. So hopefully you guys get yourself sorted. In the description below, are you insured off-road? That's the question.